So it's 10 o'clock, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Just one more check, making sure everybody can hear me. It looks like a lot of folks can. And I appreciate you being here today. Want to remind everybody that we are recording this. So if for any reason you have to step out or if you want to share it with more folks in your office, there will be a recording, hopefully by Friday or Monday at the latest, that you can replay. Also want to thank the Cabarrus Regional Chamber of Commerce, who we partner with on this free webinar series, helping to promote this to businesses they think that it will be of interest to. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Lisa Perry, and my husband Brian and I own Perry Productions. We are actually about to celebrate our 25th year in business next year. So we've been married 25 years and we've been in business for 25 years. So we really like each other, and in all seriousness, we get along great. So, but we have grown our business over the years. The picture on the left is our team and our very cool office. We call it 41 Edgewood. We moved into this historic house almost 2 years ago. After working from home for 20 years together. So it's been an exciting run for us. And part of that has certainly been getting out and doing seminars and webinars to really show our expertise in the industry and to share knowledge with people that really need it. I love working with small businesses and nonprofits. That's really what we've built our business on. And there's just always something new to learn in the realm of social media. So today we're going to be talking about LinkedIn. It's kind of, I don't know, in a tier of things, it's like my third go-to social media platform, but for a lot of people, it's number one. We use Facebook and Instagram quite a bit. But LinkedIn has improved so much, especially over the last couple years, and I'm seeing people use it really effectively, especially in the business to business environment, but just to stay connected to people. So I'm really excited to share with you today what's new. I'll be honest, I clicked through some of your LinkedIn profiles, and I'm going to encourage everybody to take what you learned today and implement it, because I think a lot of people have just set up the bare bones LinkedIn profile because you don't really know what to even do with it. And like I said, they've changed a lot of things. I'm actually going to go into LinkedIn and show you exactly where to go because some of it is not very intuitive, and it can be kind of hard to know your way around. But after today, you're going to be able to go right where you need to go and really turn this from an online resume to a marketing piece for your current job. And I think that, for so many people that got on LinkedIn initially, it was just, here's a log of my work experience. And it can be used for so much more than that. And businesses should really have a strategy to utilize the exposure their employees can give their business while they are employed with them. So that's our last kind of thing we'll talk about today, is how to engage your staff. But going to walk you through this. Like I said, I'm going to show you a lot of things live so you know exactly where to go. But we're going to very much focus on individual pages today, not so much on the company page, because I believe that the biggest bang for your buck on LinkedIn is really you utilizing it to do your job and to help your company, because everybody in your business is part of your marketing team. And this is a great way to tie everybody together. Like I said, I encourage you to take this and share it with everybody on your team and make sure it's something that you keep current. I've heard about companies using LinkedIn in their onboarding process. It's one of the first things they have their employees do when they join their team, is to go update their LinkedIn profile. And I don't mean just adding the fact that they work there. I'm talking about revamping it to be a true marketing page. So let's kind of dive in a little bit. Little bit about LinkedIn. It's hard to believe that it is 15 years old already. But the mission was to connect the world's professionals to make them more productive and successful. Like I said, it started very much as a resume, but it has changed dramatically, especially with the newsfeed. So many more ways to engage on LinkedIn, making it a true social media platform. Today, it's the world's largest professional network with more than 562 million users worldwide. Just to look a little bit at the demographic of people that are on LinkedIn, it's the only social network where men and women are equally represented. Facebook and Instagram both skew more female, but really LinkedIn is a great equalizer as far as that goes. You might be surprised that the largest age group is actually 25 to 29-year-olds, but I think it's becoming something that starts in college. That's certainly part of the marketing piece that they have. But the second largest age group is 30 to 49-year-olds. So a lot of folks that have been in the job force for a while. This is something that most people need. And you can see about 50% of Americans with a college degree use LinkedIn, compared to only about 9% of those with a high school diploma or less. So this is just a great demographic to kind of see who's out there and who's on LinkedIn. I share this one. This is Austin, a good buddy of mine from my son's youth group. And even he's on LinkedIn. And I was really surprised when I got a friend request from Austin. But it just shows how savvy this next generation is. That he is already not only has a LinkedIn profile, but he has a cover image, which many people do not. And he's got a video to something he did in his internship. And that is something that he can really use, as he's trying to get jobs throughout high school. I mean, he's still in high school. It's pretty amazing. So Austin doesn't know he's a part of my presentation today, but he really impressed me the day that he connected with me on a LinkedIn. So I think that this next generation is going to be really on top of this, and it's kind of cool to see that they value it. So want to take a look at what a typical profile page looks like. There is a new interface. If you haven't been on LinkedIn in a while, you might remember that the image used to be in the center. There were lots of things that were centered. Now the profile pic is off to the left. So if you happen to have a custom image, it may either be blocking some text with that picture move, or it may be resized. So you really want to take a look at your cover image and make sure that it is sized correctly and that nothing is being covered up because of that change. So that's something that they rolled out earlier this year. You'll also see that there's now kind of a side-by-side setup where the name and your headline is on the left, and then you've got some quick contact info on the right, and then a little bit more of a summary, and then even some videos and or images. And we're going to talk about all those things. So this is like a little mini web page. And so you want to go look at, what does your mini little web page look like? Because if you've met somebody in a meeting and they're considering doing business with you, or they want to talk to you more, what's the first impression they're going to get when they go to your LinkedIn profile? Does it look professional? Does it look current? Does it look relevant? Or does it look like a dated resume? And like I said, unfortunately, I'm seeing more and more that there are a lot of people that have a dated resume looking LinkedIn profile. So after today, you will not, because you're going to have all the tools you need to make this look like a warm and welcoming page, as I like to think that mine does. So let's start though with where to go, because a couple of these things are a little quirky. You'll notice in the upper right hand corner there's a little pen, and you might think that little pen right here up in the corner would be to edit all that information. Not true. This little section with Perry Productions, Ohio University, see contact info, that is actually edited by clicking on see contact info. So I'm going to switch over to LinkedIn and show that to you. So you, like I said, you may not even realize that you can click on that. But when you select see contact info, then this panel shows up, and there you have another little pencil. So everything on the right-hand side there is actually edited from clicking on contact info. The other pen we'll talk about next as far as what that does. So when you click on your contact info, this may be completely empty, or it may not be as filled out as mine is. So I'm going to walk you through what all you should have. You probably have a profile because LinkedIn assigns that to you. You do want to make sure that your profile is your name and not a bunch of numbers. So there is a way to customize that. So if you don't have that, you can reach out and let me know. But you definitely want to customize your profile. And then you may only have one website. You'll notice that I actually have more than one, and you can have multiple websites. And I encourage you to do that. If you have more than one page on your website you want to feature, like maybe you have a sales page, or if you have multiple companies, or like in this case, we actually have a social media conference that I want people to know about because that has a separate URL. But the way you edit this is to click on this little pen in the corner. And you can see here, this is where I copied in my web URL. You can see this is where I can add multiple websites. And so one thing that people don't realize is that you can add more than one if you've never been into this panel. You also get an option. So you could choose, this is my personal website, this is my blog, this is my portfolio. Or when you choose other, like we did, you can actually type in social media conference and give it a description because people may not know what is Get Social SMMC. So a great little tip for you to get an additional website there on that contact page. And like I said, you really want to make sure all your information is current. I checked this recently and my address wasn't in there since we had moved to this new location. So making sure that that's updated. Include your birthday if you want. I'm always welcoming gifts on my birthday, so I like to include that. One other kind of interesting tip, and I have no clue why Instagram does this, but do you see how if you have a Twitter account, you can actually link to that in here as well? Don't know why they don't include Facebook or Instagram, but it's only Twitter for some reason. But you can't actually access it right there to change it or to add it. So you'll notice that I just clicked on my email address. For some reason, you get to it by clicking on your email address to get to your Twitter handle. I know that doesn't make any sense, right? But then you can scroll down to partners and services, and then there is an option here for Twitter settings. So absolutely doesn't make sense. But if you want to add Twitter or if you need to change that, that is how you go about that. So like I said, that's just a little bit of how to get around that contact panel so that you can have this fully filled out. I'm big on first impressions. It's kind of what we do for a living, is putting out there, a great look, a great feel, a great brand. Having these things fully filled out is just impressive. And, the more that you can get in here and that can be current, the more impressive this is when you meet somebody that you may do business with. So anyway, that's how you get over here into the See contact info. What we're going to talk about next is let me get back to my presentation here. Kind of gone through that. Like I said, I've pointed out the website URL. Next, we're going to talk about how you edit pretty much everything else on your profile page. So we'll click on that little intro pencil, and then this is the panel that's going to show up. So this is where you can edit things like your name. If you put your former name, which is your maiden name, obviously it's going to put it in parentheses. This is where you can put your position, your headline. We're going to talk about that, your education, and things like that. So what I really want to focus on first is kind of updating your banner. So through this, you can update that banner. And I'm going to skip ahead for a second. Many of you, your banner may look like this. I don't know if it's constellation. I don't know what it is, but it is the I didn't choose a custom banner image. So this is an opportunity for you to be creative. So you really, again, in the am I going to impress people mode, this is not the background you want. So you can see a comparison of Brian and I. We did ours a little differently. For mine, I kind of wanted the culture of like, hey, this is a cool event in our business life. This has our employees in it. It's just, to me, it's a great, hey, this looks like a fun place to work. This is a neat thing that they had going on. I may change that eventually once, we're too far away from that actual event, but that's kind of what I chose to do. Brian wanted to use his header to really show off what we do. And I love the graphic that he came up with. He created that in Photoshop. It has our company logo on it. It's very impressive. So however you want to utilize that space is up to you. I mean, it can completely mirror your website, but it should be custom. It should be something that says something about you and or your company. And this is where you can get your employees involved. Maybe you want to have a policy that everybody's header is some type of marketing for the company. You can, while they're working for you, utilize that space. If every one of our employees has this, that really gets our message out to a lot more people. But you can discuss that internally, but that's a way that we as the owners of this company are using ours, but the way you can pull in and have your employees use it as well. So what I've done also in this PowerPoint, and I will be sending you a PDF of the PowerPoint as well. This is a great little chart that shows the exact image sizes for everything on LinkedIn. So you can see that cover photo needs to be pretty big and high quality. So you want to go ahead and utilize this chart when you're sizing your photo, because if you just upload, a portrait photo is not going to look good. So this should be a good little key that helps you as you're doing that. So let's go back over to LinkedIn Live, and I can show you when you click on this pencil, this is what pops up. So then you see a bunch of other little pencils in here. And so this is where I would click to add or change my banner image. And you can see even when I hover over it, it has a little alt tag that tells me the recommended photo size. Same thing with my image over here. If I want to change this, I can just click on the little icon. Now remember, it's in a circle, so when you're choosing your photo, you want to find one that is not going to crop your forehead off, or you know what I mean. You just want to choose a good picture. But this is how this is, and it's giving you a little preview on that chart. I think it says that photo should be 400 by 400 pixels. So that's what you want to start with, and then you'll come in here and you'll see how it's going to be cropped. So that's how you edit both of these items at the top. Next, I want to take a look at your headline, because this is another area that probably 90% of the people on the webinar today have just their job title. And this can be a much bigger opportunity than if I just put owner. That doesn't really say anything about me or what I do or why you should hire me. And like I said, it's not why you should hire me at your company for a job. It's why you should hire me, my company that I work for, to do business. So, I've played around with this. The team here has decided that I should be a marketing strategist, because that is what I do. Website developer, that is something I do as well. Speaking dynamo, a little weird to say about myself, but I wanted people to know that yes, I had it as public speaker, and I thought that sounded a little boring. So I wanted to be a little more fun, because that's who I am. And then I recently saw, another person that included accolades. And we're extremely proud of the fact that we were recognized as the 2016 Chamber Small Business of the Year. So I decided to include that in my little headline as well, because I think that gives us a little bit of, okay, these people, they know what they're doing. And so that's how you go from your headline just being your job title to, okay, this is somebody that I want to work with. So I'm going to jump back over to the um, presentation, and I have a couple other examples that I'll show you. Um, these are, well, let me do this first. So just some things about maximizing your headline. So your headline is not your job title. If you change one thing today, change that to something more fun, something more accurate. If you're not actually fun, maybe just describe a little bit more about what you actually do. It's a sales proposition. Why would somebody hire you? Your headline is the 1 to 3 lines underneath your name. You have about 150 characters. So you've got room. You can see how long mine is. So you can include multiple things in it. Don't just describe who you are and what you do. Really dive into that impact. What is it that you're going to do for somebody? Um, it should have a benefit to the viewer. You can use keywords that others might use when needing your services. So if you're an accountant, you probably want the word accountant in there in case people are searching. You'll notice that I used the vertical bars to separate. You see that quite a bit on LinkedIn. I think it looks very clean, more so than commas. But separate the phrases if, like I said, you have multiple things in your header. And never use uppercase letters. I don't love that. Don't like to be shouted out, but that's just, that's your preference. But I never like to include those. So these are a couple examples that I found out there that are people doing their headline very, very differently. And so you have to decide kind of your comfort zone with what you want to do. Obviously, mine is still pretty much my job title and things I do, but I tried to really be a little bit more creative with the language. This one for Anna Hoffman is discover how to get big website traffic for small marketing budgets. So she's actually talking about what her company does. You can see below that, it still says online media. So I've got information about her, but she has taken that headline and really made that a value. Russell Faust, I just thought was funny because his is more of a tongue in cheek in permanent beta, learning, improving, evolving. Very clever. That's one that I just would eat up. I'm like, that's somebody that I think is cool right off the bat. So, like I said, just a couple examples. I've included the link in here to this article where I found this, but wanted to just show you a couple things. I thought this was really good too from that same article to just illustrate, like, for folks who that may be a struggle to come up with a creative headline. Instead of saying, social media consultant, say, I can show you how to master social media presence no matter what your niche is. I mean, that is saying what they can do for you. They do social media. I mean, they've said that, but just something a little more powerful. The example for a coach is so I can help you see the bottlenecks in your business you are too close to home to see. That immediately kind of makes me alarmed. Oh my gosh, where are my bottlenecks? I need this guy. Much more than it just saying coach. Speaker, instead, you say, so I can convert your next conference attendees into your brand's raving fans. Love that. Like I said, as somebody who puts on a conference, that is really, really cool. So I think you kind of see the feature versus benefit. Just a few examples to kind of illustrate what it is that I'm trying to point out to you today. So scrolling down a little bit to there at the bottom, there's always been a summary section. For a lot of people, this is their work experience. As a business owner, I don't really want my employees to have their work experience there. I want it to be about our company. The summary can be about what they do for us, how it can benefit people, very similar to those headlines. It can be customized to really reflect what they're doing at this particular company. So let me flip back over here, and I'll show you inside of the editor here. This is where you can actually do the headline, as we talked about, your position, your education, and as you scroll down, this is where you can also choose the industry. What you'll see is that sometimes that will be tagged, trending in certain industries, so it links you kind of to information that's out there on LinkedIn. Here's where my summary is. LinkedIn is actually showing a bigger portion of your summary now. It's almost 3 sentences that you can see at a glance now. And the other big thing that's been added now is media. So now you can actually see up to 6 at a glance, although you can actually upload more than that, videos or graphics that really are almost like ads for your business. So this is a wonderful new addition, and you can just see how it really makes my page look good. It immediately tells people, that I'm a speaker, that I do videos. But you can have one for your business that all of your employees use. That is a marketing piece for your business. You can have a standalone ad if you have an event coming up, although you want to make sure you swap that out. But this is a space where you can actually load information into your profile that looks really, really good. So just some new things that, like I said, you may not have utilized in the past, but that I'm highly recommending that you look into, because it just allows for a lot more room for you to tell your business's story. So like I said, I still have more to add in here. We're working on, a graphic for our upcoming conference that I'm going to put in. But just some tips on how you can immediately kind of dive in and improve that initial page that folks are going to see when they meet you and when they go to your page. One other thing I forgot to mention, if you do have any questions, we're going to have some Q&A at the end. Abby's here with me, and she's going to jot them down as she sees them in the questions section. So if you do have questions, please go ahead and type those in, and I'll try to address any of them that I can at the very end. And like I said, you will be getting this replay, and you'll also be getting a PDF of the presentation. Okay, so let's talk about the newsfeed, posts, and videos. So I mentioned at the very beginning that the newsfeed has improved immensely. Their algorithm has gotten better, so people are seeing things that are actually relevant to them. It's not as good as Facebook's, which is so tied to your interests, but it's better. And I'm seeing people just put more quality content out there, and it's making people kind of stay on the platform or check in with the platform as a source of information on a more regular basis. So there are some companies that do not allow their employees to be on Facebook during the day, but they might, allow them to be on LinkedIn, because this is a place where they can be learning and growing, and it's almost like professional development. So things are definitely a little more buttoned up on LinkedIn. Like I said, Facebook, I believe, is good for every business. I'm a firm believer in that. But LinkedIn, people can, as business professionals, can really have a presence here. And sharing things that you're doing in your professional life, just like you kind of would on Facebook, but also really sharing articles, sharing information from other sources, but also creating your own thought leader type information as well. You can promote things. As you'll see, this article here has a little tag under it that says promoted. Oops, excuse me. So you can pay to kind of get these out to more people, just like you can on Facebook. So there's a lot of similarities now. You can see it looks very, very similar to what you see. What I notice on my feed is it's a completely different group of people that I interact with on LinkedIn than Facebook. And a lot of people just use Facebook for personal things, like maybe vacations and things like that. But on this side, it's like I said, much more business to business. But it's becoming just a lot more fun, a lot more, quotes that inspire, videos, all kinds of cool things happening over on LinkedIn now. So it's definitely a space that you should add like some regularity of going over and seeing what's happening. You can see in this bottom one that it, like Facebook, it has Kimberly Cousineau likes this. So she's one of my links, and it's showing kind of, you know, something that she likes. So a lot of similarities to how Facebook works. Wanted to walk you through, I don't know if there may be some folks who have actually never done a post on LinkedIn. So again, if you've ever used Facebook, it's very similar. But you just click into the area and type a post just like you would, or you can paste a link to an article and it will generate that preview. You can see the icon for photo or video, so you can upload photos or videos as well. You can use the @ again, very similar to Facebook, to tag people or mention somebody. So lots and lots of similarities here. So for those of you that are using social media, that shouldn't be, you know, like a huge learning curve. One of the very new things this year was LinkedIn finally allowing native video to be there. And people may not know what I mean when I say native video, but what that means is not going into LinkedIn and posting a YouTube link. So that means it's native to YouTube and you're just sharing the link. Native means I've uploaded the video directly to either Facebook or to LinkedIn. And that's when you get the nice big full screen feed, you get the autoplay. So that's why you want to do native video. So it actually lives on that platform. So this is what, when you select a video from your desktop, it looks like. And then what you can actually do is, I've circled up in the corner there another of the little editing tools. And you can actually go to the video settings. So one of the things, if you've ever been to one of my webinars or seminars before, that I always preach is adding captions to your videos. The statistics are so high of people who watch videos with the sound off. So you may have done a killer video, you dropped incredible knowledge, and no one heard a word you said because they're in the middle of a meeting or they're sitting in a doctor's office and they just see your mouth moving. So you really, 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 no matter what platform, want to have captions. So when you click on that edit, it has that you can upload an SRT file. So a lot of people don't know what an SRT file is. It's really just a caption file. I'm going to share with you how we do our SRTs, and this is worth the price of admission for today's webinar because you can use this for Facebook as well. We found this program, I should say Brian Perry found this program called rev.com. And it is literally $1 a minute for a fully transcribed video. And at first I thought, there's no way. There's no, because it was taking us 30 minutes using Facebook's caption editor to really get a good caption done on a video. And that's just a lot of time to be paying somebody in your company to do that. While Facebook transcribes it, there were a lot of errors, typos, just misspellings, names not being capitalized, things like that just take time to go in and clean up. Well, this program, rev.com, we have been using for a couple months, and I swear it's, most of our videos are 2 minutes, 1 minute. We're paying $1 for a fully transcribed, perfectly punctuated, and for a grammar nerd, that's huge, transcript that you can upload directly. So it has been a huge time saver and cost saver for us. But the SRT file, like I said, is generic enough that you can use it multi-platforms. If you used Facebook's internal editor, great, you've got a caption on that video, but if you also want to share it on LinkedIn, you don't have a good way to do the caption. So wonderful, wonderful program. Definitely recommend this. It's working really well for us. The other thing I want to just point out with a video, always include some type of lead-in, write-up. One of my biggest social media pet peeves is when people share something or post something and they don't tell me why. Like, it's really great that you shared this really cool article from another place, but you didn't tell me why you think it's important. That's an opportunity for you to be a thought leader, to tell me why you think this is important, how you think this will bring me value. Always, always, always have some type of write-up leading into whatever it is you're sharing on social media. So just a little bit there about, like I said, the newsfeed, posts, and then how to use videos as well. So next I want to talk about connections. So maybe, once you've got your profile cleaned up and you're using your feed and you're actually doing a couple posts, if you're going to ask me how many posts should I do, Lisa, I would say if you're doing none, maybe shoot for one a week. I think if you can accomplish one post or one share a week, that would be awesome. It's hard with social media to have it eat up your time, and you don't want that. But like anything, I think if you have regularity, it will lead to some type of connection and some type of business, and it just shows that you're active. So that I would say if you can do one post a week, that would be great. If you're ambitious and you want to be doing something twice a week, that would be great as well. Definitely feel like it's more of a Monday through Friday thing than like social Facebook that people are sometimes on the weekend. So maybe set that as a goal for yourself. But let's talk about connections, because this is something that may not appeal to all of you, but for those that are kind of in sales, it really will. I mean, this is a pretty cool feature that that LinkedIn offers. So let's go over here to the profile, and here in the search, you can see if you just put your cursor in the search, there's the screen that I just screen captured for you. And this is where you can search for people. So if you've met somebody in a meeting, you can just search for their name and then link in with them. And just as a best practice, that's what I do all the time. Like if, I get lots of LinkedIn requests from people I don't know. They're just in the social media world and they're just throwing these connections out all over the place. I don't usually connect with those people. I like to, on social media, only connect with people that I have actually physically met, or a phone call or something like that where I have some connection. But what I really like to do that I think is impressive is if I'm in a meeting, and even if I didn't totally talk to that person, but we engaged a little bit, linking in with them is kind of like a light second date, maybe just for lunch or coffee. But it's a great way to connect with somebody. And then I've had relationships on LinkedIn grow over time after that kind of initial introduction. So that's kind of how I add people to my list. But anyway, a good thing to do here is if you want to search for people. Excuse me, let me bounce back over here to the screen captures that I have. So that's where you go. You just go into the search. And then what you want to do is go up here to the upper right and search for all filters. So this is if, say, you're looking to do business with somebody and you want to find out if anybody in your LinkedIn network might know somebody at a certain company or might have a connection somewhere to help you maybe make an introduction, those kind of things. So we're going to go to all filters, and once we do that, we're going to go to a screen that looks like this. So let me bounce back over here. So this is where it is. Up here is that all filters, and like I said, I have in the PDF you're going to get that circled, because a couple times I've gotten over here and I'm like, now where do I go now? Because it's, you don't think, oh, I got to go back up to the top and select all filters. But that's when this little drop down menu comes down. And I've used my good friend Barbie Jones, the executive director at the chamber, as my example. So what you can do is say, I want to know, I wonder if Barbie, who knows a lot of people, knows anybody at Wells Fargo, because I really want to reach out to them about, doing business or about being a sponsor for my conference. And then I want to make sure I make that a second connection. So your first connection is people you're connected to. Second connection is people your first connections are connected to. So somebody that Barbie is friends with, and then you can run this little filter by clicking apply, and it's going to give you some results. So this shows that Barbie knows 8 people associated with Wells Fargo. And so I can look through this list and I might say, oh, wow, I know Andy Jones. I didn't even realize we knew the same person. Or, maybe I can see that he's the senior vice president of enterprise social media. So that's the person I really want to talk to because he's in social media. So you can see how this is a way that I would not connect with him, but I might reach out to Barbie and say, hey, Barbie, let her know what I'm doing. Would you mind introducing us? But this is a great way to kind of look and see, who do people know? Who do we have in common? And, how can I possibly, get an introduction? Now, I would not recommend that you do this for people that you don't know that well. That could definitely be a turnoff. If I go to that person that I met at a meeting that I barely even know, all of a sudden I'm asking them to make a connection for me, not necessarily appropriate. But for people that you know and you know that would do that for you, this is a great way to kind of use these filters to find things. So another thing I might do, is I love my alma mater, Ohio University, greatest place on earth. Bobcats love to do business with Bobcats. I mean, that's just the way it is. And so what I can do is say, well, I wonder if Barbie knows anybody from Ohio University. Let me see, because I'm just thinking maybe there's somebody. Wow, look at that. Of course, there's me. But then Bo Hussey, I have met him. I had no clue he was an Ohio University Bobcat. Works at the United Way. I would love to do a speaking engagement at the United Way. I should reach out to Bo, and I'm definitely going to lead with, wow, I didn't realize you were a Bobcat. So now I know a little something about him. I know that he knows Barbie. I know we have this commonality, and it just makes kind of an introduction a little bit easier. So I hope that kind of shows you how you can use this tool. I found it very cool because I am definitely somebody who likes to be able to connect. And like I said, I look for commonalities in business when I'm talking to somebody all the time. So I thought that was a really cool feature that you can utilize. Like I said, these are just some screen captures of what I just showed you. Something else I get asked about, with LinkedIn, are the endorsements worth it? Are the recommendations worth it? I do not do anything with endorsements. I have had people endorse me for public speaking who have never seen me speak. And, it's not really that valued, I think, by other people. When I look at endorsements and I see just a whole bunch of stuff, that's not a huge selling point for me to say, okay, yeah, I'm going to hire this person over this person because of this particular endorsement. Recommendations, on the other hand, those are written by other members. They're testimonials. Somebody has taken the time to do it. They are seen as a high quality trust signal. And I definitely recommend that you do those and ask for them the same way you would ask for a Google review. I have to give Brian props here. He's been much better than me at reaching out to some of our current and former clients. So these are some of his recommendations, and people have, really blown us away with the nice things that they've said about us. But if somebody's looking to hire Brian and they go to his LinkedIn and they see these recommendations, that's definitely going to give them a comfort level, of working with us. And so, just like I said, as you actively should ask for Google reviews for your business, sometimes even Facebook reviews, ask for recommendations on LinkedIn as well. So next, I wanted to move on to blogging. I mentioned earlier as far as what you post on LinkedIn, as far as sharing, thought leadership type things. A lot of people struggle with writing. They don't have time or they don't know what to say, but it is by far one of the best things you can do to show off your expertise. I talk to people all the time that once I hit the sweet spot of what they know, they just wow me with their information. I always assume that everybody knows this about social media or that, but once I start talking and they're like, wow, I didn't know that, I realized, wow, that would be a great blog article. That's something that I could share with people. Now, you might have an external blog and you can certainly post that link, but what LinkedIn has is a built-in publishing platform. And this is really nice because, one, when you use a social media platform's own, kind of interface, it just reaches more people. I 100% believe that. But it also gives you some creativity with how the blog article looks also. So to get to this, like I said, you can just go to, let me see, excuse me, jump back over here. When you go to write an article here, so if you're about to either say something, or you can, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. You can jump over to the publisher. So if we click on write article, there we go. You can see how that goes to LinkedIn publishing. And this is where you can actually, do a headline. It can have an image. So you can really make this look nice. It's even got built-in styles so that you can have a headline 1, a headline 2, normal, bold. It's got quotes. So there's a lot you can do with this. And LinkedIn articles can be longer, so you can really dive into certain topics. So, maybe if you strive for one blog article a month or one blog article a quarter, that just will build and it will be linked to your profile. So it'll show that, wow, this person is posting videos that they do, they've got several blog articles. I mean, it's just adds to your reputation of people really trusting you as someone that they want to do business with. So this is just an example of that first page. This is an example of an article that we wrote for a client. So you can see we plugged in a photo. It has a nice big headline, but then even the body of the text, look at how nice this looks to be able to do a pull quote. It's a bigger font, it's centered, we have a bolded headline. So there's a lot that you can do. You can put links in the text. This is another technique that we really like, especially if your blog article is a little on the longer side, is to put in the middle a related article and link over to another article that might keep them reading and learning more about you. You also want to make sure you have some type of footer that talks about who you are, kind of a blanket statement that you put on all of your different articles that you do. So just some examples of how to utilize the blog feature on LinkedIn. And like I said, just let me know if you have any questions about that. So lastly, or not lastly, sorry, one other thing I wanted to talk about as far as what you can share on your posts is you can curate articles, which means share from other sources. Don't feel like you have to write all of them yourself. Like I said, if you do 4 to 6 posts a month, maybe one of them shoot for being something that you actually penned, that is yours. But LinkedIn has a LinkedIn Learning that I would highly recommend that you bookmark. And you can see here that it has recommended for you. So these are just articles that are of interest to you. So just for you to have great information for yourself and for professional development, but they can also be things that you can share. Like, so for me, these are great articles for me, but they're also good for me to share with my followers who follow me because they want the latest and greatest in social media. You can see there's another one that has trending for business owners. So these are articles that are trending. So these are articles that if you share, it's like you're plugged in, you're the first to know, the first to share. That just really gives you an elevated thought leadership role in your all the connections that you have. So good place. You can curate articles from other places, but this is just one that I like to look at and share from on a regular basis. So lastly, what I want to talk about is just engaging your staff. I've mentioned a couple times about, your LinkedIn profile is not just your resume. This is if you're the business owner or you're in charge of communications and marketing, really calling upon a large number of your employees to utilize their LinkedIn profile as part of marketing can be a huge help. I think that just from a impression standpoint, you can see these are all of our folks. As soon as they put Perry Productions and I click on Perry Productions, I'm going to see everybody that works here. Is everybody's photo professional? Is everybody's title great? We're actually going to have a meeting and everybody's going to work on their profiles. Everybody's going to work on their header images. We're going to talk about doing a summary that talks specifically about what they do for our clients and what are the benefits that they bring. And so allowing time for your employees to do that can be a huge benefit to you. And then encouraging them, if it's appropriate, to also share maybe one article a week, especially things that your company has going on. So, when you think about these are the 10 people that work for my company and all 10 of them have 500 connections, you're reaching a lot of people for free. So, this is just something that I don't think people have really thought about in using LinkedIn. It's kind of like, well, I don't want my employees to update their profile. That means they're just looking for a job. Not necessarily. Like I said, if you change the culture of your company to be LinkedIn is one of the tools that we want you to use, that can really, really benefit your company. So that's pretty much everything that I have. I did want to share before I go into the Q&A. We worked really hard last year to put on an awesome social media conference right here in Concord. We are going to do it again on April 11th at Great Wolf Lodge. I would love for you to save that date. It's a full day of social media, lots of platforms. This year we're going to be heavy into video and Instagram and a whole new lineup of speakers. We're really excited about it. But go ahead and put that on your calendar because it's really important that you're always learning, not just about this platform, but about all the social media platforms and how you can really best utilize them. So questions, I have a couple. So let me see. How do I get my logo to the left of my company name? Do I have to have a business page as well? Yes, Deanna. So it is pulling in. If you sometimes see like a little kind of gray box, it's because you don't have your logo or you don't have a business page. So you want to make sure that you do that. So really, really good question. The business page, I can get you some information about how to set that up. Your company page, company pages can now do boosted posts from that. So there's a lot of benefits to having a company page. So would recommend you do that. And if you need any help, feel free to reach out to me on that. Let's see. When going to a conference, especially if giving a paper presentation, do you post that? Would you also give a link to the conference website somehow? So I'm not sure if this is if it's a presentation that you did, but I think anything you can share where you're showing that you're getting knowledge or giving knowledge is a great thing to share. So I would absolutely give people more information. I do that all the time. I remember that I was at a conference. I was taking pictures of the slides and sharing those, and that just got people excited to talk to me about what I was learning. And so I think you're on the right track there, Reed. I think that's a great idea. So definitely utilize LinkedIn for that purpose if you can. So let's see here. What is a caption for a video? Not sure. Oh, okay. So the captions for a video are if you're watching a video and you see the white text that comes across that is basically transcribing what the person is saying. So that's what is on there. So when you upload an SRT file, like I shared with you, that's so if the person does not have the sound on, the closed captioning actually shows up. And in a lot of our statistics, 90% of the time, people are watching videos with the sound off. And so, like I said, if you spend the time and money to do a caption or to do a video and you're not including a caption, you are really missing out. So that's what that is. And like I said, if you utilize rev.com, you actually just go to that website and paste the YouTube link of your video and it automatically transcribes it. We usually get them back within 2 hours. And like I said, are flawless, and it's amazing. So I've been really, really impressed with that platform so far, but that's what the caption is. It's really just the transcription of what the person is saying in the video. So I think, Abby, is that all the questions? So I think we just have 5 minutes left. So I just wanted to honor your time with us today. Like I said, anybody that is joining us in the replay, I hope, and for those of you that joined me live today, I really hope you got a lot out of this. Feel free to send me your amped up profiles to take a look at. I would love to see them. Want to thank the chamber again, and Allison and everybody over there for really promoting this. I think it's a great benefit to members of the chamber and to small businesses and nonprofits to really know how to utilize these platforms. So thank you so much. Watch for an email, like I said, with the deck, with the slide deck and the link. Give us a couple days to get that video prepped, and then we'll have that to you. So thanks again, and I hope to see you at Get Social in April. Take care. Bye-bye.